Ever feel like your own thoughts are on a loop? Like you're constantly managing the clutter in your head just to get through the day? What if I told you that some of the most profound ways to find peace and even happiness come not from ignoring the chaos, but from facing it piece by piece? We're going to talk about a song that captures this perfectly, not with loud advice or easy answers, but with a quiet, powerful ritual. This is for anyone who's ever had to work a little harder to feel okay, and found strength in that very process. The verse immediately sets up a powerful and symbolic location, a mountain top. This isn't just a physical place. It's a metaphor for a relationship that is isolated, private, and elevated above the ordinary world. They've built their own paradise right at the top, and they have this beautiful view which represents their shared perspective and the bliss of their connection. It's idyllic and perfect, but that very perfection and isolation can create a strange kind of pressure. This leads to the narrator's bizarrely specific and mechanical ritual. Every morning, she goes to the edge and throws off little things like car parts, bottles, and cutlery. These aren't natural objects like leaves or rocks. They are manufactured domestic items. This choice is crucial. She's discarding pieces of the functional, everyday world, things that have a use, a purpose. Car parts make a vehicle run, cutlery is for eating, bottles are for holding things. By throwing them away, she's symbolically dismantling the practical, mundane aspects of her life and her identity. It's a daily purge of the residual self that exists outside of this perfect mountaintop relationship. She's lightening her load, getting rid of anything that isn't essential to being up there in that love. The action itself, walking to the edge of a cliff, is inherently dangerous and transgressive. It's a flirtation with the precipice, both literally and emotionally. This isn't a destructive act aimed at her partner or their home. It's a private, almost therapeutic process she performs for herself. By choosing whatever I find lying around, she highlights the casual, habitual nature of this ritual. It's not premeditated with grand meaning each time. It's a necessary, almost subconscious daily maintenance of her own psyche. She needs to engage with the edge, to acknowledge the sheer drop and the danger below, to properly appreciate the safety and beauty of the world she has built back from the cliff. In a way, she's managing her own inner chaos by performing a controlled, symbolic act of destruction, ensuring it doesn't seep into the relationship itself. These two simple lines are where the entire ritual transforms from a strange occurrence into something far more significant and revealing. Calling it a habit is a massive understatement that speaks volumes. Habits are things we do automatically without much thought, like brushing your teeth or making coffee. By framing this extreme act of throwing car parts off a cliff in this way, the narrator is telling us that this is no longer a random experiment or a one-time curiosity. It has been fully integrated into the fabric of her daily life. It's become normalized, essential, and routine for her. This normalization of something so dangerous and odd is the first clue that this is a deeply ingrained psychological need, not just a whimsical hobby. Furthermore, stating that it's her chosen way to start the day assigns it a profound purpose. Our morning routines are how we ground ourselves, prepare our minds, and transition into the day ahead. For most people, that might be meditation, exercise, or reading the news. For her, it is this act of symbolic purification and confrontation with the abyss. This ritual is her mental preparation. It's how she clears out the static, manages her own complex inner world, and ultimately gets herself into the right headspace to be present in the intense, elevated reality of her relationship on the mountain. It's the necessary work she has to do on herself each morning to maintain the beautiful view. The chorus pulls back the curtain completely, revealing the profound and deeply personal reason behind the strange morning ritual. The phrase, "I go through all this," is a powerful umbrella term for everything she does: the walking to the edge, the throwing, the flirting with danger. It acknowledges the effort and the strangeness of it all, framing it as a process she must actively endure or go through, like a difficult but necessary task. This isn't a casual pastime, it's a form of emotional labor. The most critical revelation is the timing. Before you wake up, this establishes her ritual as a private, almost secret act of self preservation that exists outside of the relationship itself. It's something she does alone for the relationship, but not with the other person. This secrecy isn't about deceit, it's about creating a boundary. It's her way of managing her own complex interiority so that it doesn't burden her partner or intrude on their shared space. She is essentially compartmentalizing her chaos to protect their peace. The final two lines are the ultimate payoff and the core thesis of the entire song. She does all this so I can feel happier to be safe up here with you. This is a breathtakingly honest admission. It tells us that the safety and happiness of the relationship are not a given. They are a feeling she must actively cultivate and choose every single day. By confronting the void, the danger, and the potential for destruction alone, she is creating a conscious contrast. She has to touch the edge to truly appreciate the center. It's a process of self induced gratitude. By willingly engaging with what could be lost, by literally throwing pieces of a past life off the cliff, she reaffirms her choice to be present in the current one. The safety feels safer because she has visited the unsafe place in her mind. The happiness is sharper and more real because she has done the work to feel it. The entire ritual is an engine she built to power her own appreciation for the love she has. The second verse deepens the ritual, moving from the physical act of throwing things into a much more intense and psychological space. It starts by reinforcing the solitude and secrecy. It's early morning, no one is awake. This isn't just a practical detail. It underscores that this is her own private world, a sacred and isolated time where her most inner thoughts can surface without any outside judgment or interruption. The repetition of "I'm back at my cliff," still throwing things off, emphasizes the cyclical, compulsive nature of this habit. It's not a one off, it's a persistent need, something she returns to day after day. Then, the focus shifts dramatically from the action itself to the sensory experience. She isn't just mindlessly tossing objects. She's deeply engaged in the aftermath. She listens to the sounds they make and follows them with my eyes till they crash. This is a move from doing to feeling and observing. It's a form of morbid, focused meditation. She is utterly present in the moments of destruction, studying it, absorbing it. This close attention transforms the act from a simple purge into a deliberate engagement with the concepts of gravity, impact, and consequence. This meditation then leads to the verse's darkest and most crucial turn. "I imagine what my body would sound like. slamming against those rocks. This is the raw, unfiltered core of the ritual. It's no longer about projecting random objects, it's about projecting herself. This line reveals that the entire process is a form of symbolic self destruction. By imagining her own body meeting that fate, she is confronting her own fears, her mortality, and her potential for chaos head on. It's a controlled simulation of the ultimate laws of control. She isn't having suicidal thoughts. Rather, she is creatively and safely exploring the darkest possible what if in her mind. By mentally playing out this terrifying scenario in the safety of the morning light, she is effectively diffusing its power. She stares into the abyss so that when she turns away from it to go back to her partner, the warmth and safety of that love feels even more vivid, chosen, and real by contrast. The thrown objects are just proxies. Her imagination is the real tool she uses to feel happier, to be safe. This single, haunting question represents the absolute peak of the narrator's imaginative journey and the most intimate moments of her daily ritual. The previous verse ended with her imagining the sound of her body hitting the rocks, and this line is the natural, terrifying next thought that arises from that fantasy. It's no longer about the abstract idea of falling. She has followed the thought all the way down to the visceral, microscopic detail of the moment of impact. The question, will my eyes be closed or open, is profound in its simplicity. It's about ultimate control, or rather, the complete loss of it. To close one's eyes is an act of will, a way to shut out a terrifying reality. To have them open is to witness the truth head on, no matter how brutal. By fixating on this detail, she is trying to solve an impossible puzzle. In a scenario of total chaos and finality, would she be able to exert one last bit of conscious choice? Or would primal instinct take over? It's a question about courage, fear, and the very nature of self awareness at the brink of annihilation. This isn't a question she expects an answer to. Instead, it serves as the final, most intense part of her thought experiment. By mentally plunging herself into this ultimate what if and focusing on such a human bodily detail, she completes the cycle of her symbolic fall. She has gone as far as her mind can take her. Pushing her imagination to this extreme is the necessary catharsis. It's the emotional equivalent of hitting bottom so she can finally rebound. Once she had confronted this darkest curiosity, she is fully prepared to turn her back on the cliff, walk inside, and fully, gratefully embrace the safety and love that awaits her, having left all thoughts of the abyss behind at the edge. The post-chorus, with its simple and relentless repetition of "safe up here with you," acts as the emotional release and the ultimate answer to the entire song's tension. After the intense, dark journey of the verses and pre-choruses, where she flirted with the edge, imagined her own destruction, and pondered terrifying questions, these lines are like a mantra of return. The repetition isn't just a musical device. It mimics the act of consciously grounding herself. It's the sound of her mind recentering, pulling back from the brink, and anchoring itself firmly in the reality she has worked so hard to appreciate. Each repetition is like another step away from the cliff and back into the warmth of the home and the relationship. This mantra also serves to reinforce the core truth she discovered through her ritual. The safety isn't just a passive state of being. It's an active feeling she has chosen and earned through her psychological labor. By saying it over and over, she is convincing herself, savoring the feeling, and solidifying it as her new reality. The darkness of the imagination is replaced by the solid, simple fact of safety. The complexity of her ritual is resolved into this one pure, uncomplicated truth. Furthermore, the shift in pronouns is key. The entire song up to this point has been about I and me, my cliff, my body, my eyes. It has been a solitary journey. Now, the focus dramatically shifts to you. The repetition of with you is the payoff. It signifies the successful completion of her ritual. She has done her internal work alone so that she can now be fully present with her partner. The isolation of the cliff is replaced by the connection of togetherness. The phrase becomes a celebration and affirmation of the very thing the entire ritual was designed to protect and cherish, the profound safety found in love.